Alright, hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. Hopefully I'm coming through okay, and my fans aren't drowning me out. It is very hot in here. I was actually considering not streaming tonight. There's a good chance I might not stream tomorrow just because it's so freaking hot. Like, what was it? I forgot what the heat index was today. I was like, hang on. Let me look. Let's find. Let's see how hot we were at today. Because the highs were about like 98, but the humidity, let's see, yeah, had it up to 109 for a heat index. That was not fun. And it's just gonna be hotter tomorrow. Actually, probably might actually be hitting close to 100 in actual temperatures tomorrow. So if I don't stream tomorrow, it's a good chance I'm probably melting. Anyways, let's make sure we're properly synced. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. Oh, also there's something going on with TTS Monsters, so their service might be out. Let me see if we got a action first. Okay.
Testing.
Okay, that's working. Okay. Interesting. So he said action first, so it's too much. Interesting. Let's try it now. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. It's good. Alright, so where we last left off, I don't even remember. We're into the trial. I think we've got our suspect. We're just trying to figure out the motive. Good. I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not cool and collected Adrian Andrews. She's your manager. Would have been easy, very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner, well, was her. So, after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button on your hakama. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying that really was her? Yes, she's the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Carita. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. Well, she has her own agenda. Her own agenda? Oh, what are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today. Give me a verdict. It's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer, dude? Phoenix, you think her motive is really is related to Celeste Impacts' missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts and her strength as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Carita, the victim of his murder. And that's when I think that Miss Andrews got close to Carita. I want to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me. What? Who was it that first told us about the relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts. Who did? It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. But why? Unless he's trying to actually get, nail Andrews. Phrasing.
Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please.
The prosecution calls witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Corrida's room. What is your occupation? I'm the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard.
I see. Now then.
Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request.
Yes, sir. What is it?
I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out about more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Casablanca.
If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Corrida. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself.
So was it fry and bait matter, or was it bait and fry? Reminds me of a person.
But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ.
I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews.
Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. You didn't call for help immediately?
You poured yourself a glass of juice?
Yes. Sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor.
I see. Well, it's all right. You may cross-examine the witness.
Phoenix. She's one cool and collected customer and has the brains to match. Yes, I know. In order to catch a person like you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who's easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand? And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. Anyway, why are we yawning? I got a coffee right here. Hang on. Because my breathing. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? It? What are you... Right? Other the years of school would have taught you how to construct the sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence for the subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. On Guard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. And why did you do that? And as a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh?
room.
You were in shock? What? Was I not supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Kurita. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, and you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not.
I see.
This photo you were referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Kurita, you were in great shock? And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing. What one thing? Never mind. It's no big deal. I was starting to see it. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was.
Actually, so would I.
I'm sorry. I just it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Oh. I think they did. I don't know if they confirmed it or not. Or said who's the... Hang on. Oh, it's got her fingerprints on it.
Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? There's mess of glass shards?
It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. On top, which means this wasn't open before. Why would you Why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess.
It looks like that another fact has come to light here. Please add this and add anything else you'd have to reveal in your testimony.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse, so I set the glass and was not holding down on the dresser. That's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was already in total control of herself. That's what she would like the people to think. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. Doesn't sound like there's anything glaring. I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to keep on the offensive and not let up. Very strong, decisive evidence. I think I've got it. You testify that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes. And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? And I'll speak. Is there a problem with what I said? It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what's so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside.
That's very true.
Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case.
What is that?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor.
And what's wrong with that?
The guitar case was open when the vase fell. The glass shards would be inside, not outside the case.
What's your point, right?
That the case was closed at the time it was knocked over? Is that all? No. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else.
Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say that she didn't touch the guitar case.
But this whole matter is with the guitar case. But the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. Unless the note was inside the case. That may very well be, however, empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it?
It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the case?
The empty guitar case? I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you. I can't believe I'm doing this either.
All right, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know.
It looks like this really was an important point.
This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using any way to change the topic, the convenient escape for a weak man. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see, are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer it or not. Seems like her dependent side is taken over.
Oh, Miss Andrews?
Yes, it was me. So, you opened the guitar case then? Yes, well, maybe. Well, why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Kurita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case. As the witness has said multiple times when she found the dead body, she was dazed. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about that bright red guitar? But getting back on topic... Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention.
Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright.
Sorry. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. She's at her weakest now. This is our chance. Had a weapon to hit her with. Alright, what do we got? No, we already used this. Is this where we bring it out on her? Let's give it a try. Nope, that wasn't it. Or maybe this one. Not the Y, but what would have been in the case. Nope, that's not it either. Am I on the right track or am I thinking too far ahead?
Shift Weasel.
Hi, Morgan Freeman. I heard it. Wait, it's not right. God dang it. There we go. I had to refresh it, so I could have sworn it was working earlier.
But
I only heard him say "but." Okay. That wasn't working. But yeah, am I thinking too far ahead, introducing the whole thing with her mentor, or no? What am I missing here? No, that wasn't it either. Alright, what am I missing here? Because this clearly has to be the Y. Unless it's gotta be a person itself. she opened the case, they'd have her fingerprints on it? Oh, it only has Karita's fingerprints. Huh. Interesting. There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. You're not Sherlock. Neither am I, apparently. It's because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim. Okay, so I was thinking too far ahead.
What is it, Miss Andrews?
You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time?
Gloves? Why would you be wearing gloves at the time?
It was the night of the awards ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems like the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
You were wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Do you have something that can prove that I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yeah, the glass! I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? You let your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this wine glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange? And that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Did her glasses break and she put on a new pair? Oops. Excuse me.
Order! Order!
Looks like you hit the nail right on the head this time. Did I? I'm pretty sure I had a helping hand. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here. But it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty, though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case that... What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean... It was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. That was my cup, like, against the, little, like, arm for the pop filter.
I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves despite the fact that on the case...
Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews testified that the case fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure that this guitar case has some relation to the murder. If you are so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder.
Can you do that, Mr. Wright?
Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
Bright red car was not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that the bright...
So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty, is that right? Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the murder? Here we go. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case, let alone this one?
Why, Mr. Wright? Why?
Well, I just thought it might have been possible. I have a suggestion. Why don't you put that void... Why don't you put that in the void where your brain is supposed to be? Oh, so that wasn't it? Can't a foolishly foolish fool get some love? And you're starting to speak like Francisca. You still think you can prove your theory? Can you prove that the guitar case was not empty at the time of the murder? So what am I looking for here? Because the whole thing about the mention of the suicide note didn't work. The scarf? I gotta think. She came in there. She was the one who found him. Before that, I was on guard. It might... No, because... perhaps a metallic person of some sort? Nickel Samurai?
This is a photograph.
Yes, but what is important is what's in the picture, Your Honor.
There's in this picture.
It doesn't take the genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is... What? Okay, I wasn't expecting this. Why would this be in here? Inside the guitar case was a Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume.
What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar to take out a costume? Why was that in there? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Wait. Ungard went in there. He came out. He was wearing his normal outfit. Did he give it to Kurita? Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? Wait, what? I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starting for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo?
No, but that's leaving on guard's room, not Kurita's. Kurita's has all the bears in front of it.
Order! Order! Looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy, speak first, think later. I was not expecting this.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Wait a second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been at Mr. Ongard. Would have been Mr. Matt Ongard's. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room and inside the guitar case of all places? Exactly. I'm with Edward on this one.
True. And it's a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
No, it wasn't stolen unless he gave it to him. Mr. Ongard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare one.
What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to this ceremony on purpose.
But why?
The announcement.
The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the jamming ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the real reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies a sticking point.
What are you mumbling to yourself about now?
Have you just been rambling about all this time without any sense of inner monologue? Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume?
Are you sure you can explain this one? I've been lost for like the past 15 minutes. Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was...
What is this?
On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference.
A press conference?
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. From what you're not making something up, right?
But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ongard himself said that he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference in that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up. by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Kurita himself.
The victim?
Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold a press conference as the nickel samurai.
He was going to dress up as a nickel samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at the conference. The nickel samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Kurita, posing as a nickel samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard.
Yes. I guess that is what it would mean.
But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's a public disclosure.
Miss Andrews?
I can see why you're pros at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say. The press conference was set up by Juan. But you know of this?
Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set this up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You?
Juan had bet everything on the Jamming Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
He was going to ruin him, huh?
It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? What, the fact that he's an idiot?
And do you know what the secret of Mr. Unguard's is, Miss Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
Ah, I see.
I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone, but that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all. Protect Mr. On Guard?
And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light. Please, Miss Andrews, if you could please tell us the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor. I understand. What is this turn? From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife, but I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. Finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
If the defense can find no fault with his testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine, Mr. Wright.
Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. Why would you say that your intuitions, that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things. 3? 3 things? A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us at school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? So would you say this need came from the press conference? Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt on guard.
And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews?
Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. I thought you told me you didn't know about that. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? Yeah, him. He's an idiot. Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree. Miss Andrews, please correct your testimony if you please.
Grasping at straws now, are you, Mr. Wright? Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask?
You were the one who helped Mr. Karita with his press conference.
And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out.
The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim plan with his plan, I know how to read, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill.
But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time.
I keep trying, but I can find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. I can say the same for some people here in this courtroom, however.
Judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. You sure about that? I mean, might not be looking at your eyes. You can hardly call the knife the decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage. Then, what about the button? Which costume was it found on? The button? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought, and during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the jamming ninja's costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama. Isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence.
Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. An icy stare, yes. You're reading my mind, Mia.
Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
And how do you know that? When the ends of the threads of the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard. I heard that before too, but why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you're not. But I had it this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be there, but here and where and what? But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Miss Karita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. On Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour. And please, stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounded a little wishy-washy. Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll test a little more. You know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm gonna pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Okay, so we gotta think outside the box here. This would probably have to be it, because, okay. Because it still doesn't match up with this is still the shorter instance. Nope, that wasn't it. Was there signs of a struggle? Not really. Can the jury please see the autopsy report? We'll probably have to be here then. This is the victim's autopsy report. Clearly states here the cause of death was a strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
What does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button had the victim's blood on it. So this was ripped off after. Which would mean that it was ripped off the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Exactly, which means it's impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way that this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body.
Order. What is the meaning?
What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? To frame on guard. What purpose? We now know that this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean? Does this mean you know what the murder?
Yeah, it depended on on guard. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloody button on their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course.
And the real murderer is? Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then?
Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet, not until the very end. It's gotta be her. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You are Mr. Kurita's killer. What? Nope, there goes another pair of glasses.
Order, Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence to support your charge?
Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? Then, what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion to Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. And there goes another one. How many spare glasses do you have? Then, what about the button that was found on Matt's Hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence on his own Hakama. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you, yet again, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. That costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been prepared. It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found in the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. Because Kurita opened it for her. No, wait. Yeah. No. Because it was spilled on top. I'm trying to plan out the sequence of events. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposefully left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of the dead body. And on top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth could believe this Nico Samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was for him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not? Please, stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Do I?
Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Is that a thing?
Well, yes. You're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing the witness not to testify, the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What? Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood? That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. Did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? Run out of evidence?
What's so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize that this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. What? Everything you've proven is circumstantial. Circumstantial? Yes, circumstantial. You've yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita.
Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Kurita?
I believe this may lead me to incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering.
Miss Andrews, if you do that, it'll be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think?
Maybe so, or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty due to my silence. No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. You think?
I think we've reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof.
But that's not true.
In this situation, there's only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess.
Recess?
I request that both prosecution and the defense look further into this matter, and at tomorrow's trial.
Tomorrow? We don't have tomorrow. I'm gonna have a guilty verdict today, then. Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. Trial. Please continue the trial. What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't she? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya...
But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is...
It's not impossible for this trial to continue.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true, Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to of whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Yes, that is very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they're shaking up, not stirring a glass of juice. Exactly. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know.
The court acknowledges the prosecution's witness. Miss Andrews, if you please.
Is Edgeworth aware of the whole thing with Maya? That glass of juice, I really didn't pour it for myself. Well, obviously, because it's Karita's. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in a messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, I thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he'd fainted or something, so we went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked over the flower vase over.
So you poured that glass of juice with the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours?
Now then, Mr. Wright, we begin your cross-examination.
But there wasn't anyone else in the room, right? Of course not. Then who did you pour it for? Mr. Wright, there is a rhyme and reason for everything. Can you wait just a little longer for it to be revealed to you? In other words, Wright, be quiet and listen. Precisely. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Miss Karita? I understand your frustrations in not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence. And then, what did you see next, witness? Slumped over. Yes, he was just sitting there, his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping. Is it just me, or did that sound a little odd? Then what had crossed your mind? I thought that maybe he smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix, and then felt tired after his rampage, so decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought.
So you didn't think he was dead at all?
You thought he fainted? I thought he was asleep at first. But then, when the room was in such a messy state, I thought that maybe he'd gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when he went for the glass of juice. Yes. He always was he always has a hard time waking up. So one always has a glass of tomato juice to drink. How do you know that?
I see. And after that, what happened next?
And how did you come to realize that he was in fact dead? I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked, staggered backward, and knocked the flower vase over. So that's what happened. Yes. This is what it all comes down to. Huh? This is the absolute end of both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Now's our best chance to kill the prosecution's case. Is that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will you tell us the truth this time? Was knocked over because she strangled him. Nope, that's not it. corner. That's not the corner of the room, though. Never mind. Gotta be something here that fits. Not the base of it. Yeah, what about the guitar? Because I'm getting like a conflict of events in my head compared to what's supposed to be happening here. In order to implicate that it was her, he had to have been alive when she came in. She has to be the one that strangles him with the scarf. My reasoning is that the vase was knocked over during that struggle. But that didn't work. Unless I'm putting it somewhere, like put it in the wrong place. And then there's this. My thought processing on this was that this was closed first, and then Karita opened it, and then she killed him. these, I'm guessing, won't be in play until much, much later. So what am I missing here? Like, this whole thing doesn't make sense, but trying to figure out what fits where is the hard part about this whole thing. And the reason he brings it up because of a struggle is leading me to believe that he was still alive, and she's the one that killed him. He strangled him. The knife in his chest? No. Maybe it's this one. There we go. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body?
What's the meaning of this?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that that here was a dead man. That's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted, and so nonchalantly go pour something to drink.
Your pointers?
Miss Andrews, your testimony is just now was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you're the real killer.
It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. On guard, is not guilty after all.
That's impossible. You're wrong.
Miss Andrews, try to have some composure.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He was the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing it was so that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because...
Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you?
I refuse to testify.
is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Madon-God's innocence has clearly been demonstrated.
Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't.
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Madon-God.
Edgeworth, what the hell?
Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
What?
The reason is quite simple.
This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. Okay, I mean, you've got a point.
Absolute real truth? What are you?
Witness, don't you understand yet? Huh? I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Madon-God will go free, and in his place, you become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you.
What?
I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma.
Huh?
Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. Then, right now, Miss Andrews is. Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Madon-God will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging onto them. But then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is to get her not guilty. That's my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone. Help me.
Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
The court can't continue like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do.
Well, what do I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right?
I suggest you think very clearly about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who was the real mastermind behind this crime. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right? Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this, not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you're really hiding.
Mr. Wright, are you sure you want to know what you're doing?
Sure, Mr. On-Guard would get an acquittal, but in his place, you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me.
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it is clear that the defense's theory is the truth.
You're wrong.
What a shame.
I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However,
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. He's gonna say so. Stop.
Mr. Edgeworth!
This witness, how should I put it? She has an illness. Oh, what's this music? What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it is no use. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about her scares her more than anything else in the world. Please stop, I beg you. If people find out, oh. If you're going to say you choose death, that is no concern to me. Damn, Edgeworth, you cold-blooded. Edward, how could you be so cold? However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore. When I first saw him, I really thought he'd fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure that there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room, and then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and I was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume.
Stab the body with the knife? Why would you do that?
Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man.
What do you mean by all of this?
It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Carita, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? Because the killer, the killer, he's the one who killed, I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence your cross-examination.
Oops. But you could tell from the state of the room was in. There must have been a fight. Are you telling me the truth when you say that you didn't know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck. That scarf is a part of the Jamming Ninja's costume, so I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop one and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged pieces of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Slept then took the knife and returned to the scene of the crime. But your fingerprints aren't on it. So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife. Gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. And when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I use the button somehow, I could make it Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip off one of the buttons off and then plant it on Mr. On-Guard's Akama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? An inconvenience? There was a woman at the camera, with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes there was a lot of... There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Oldbag for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. That's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the awards ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes. Juan wanted to wear that costume to hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
What is this secret?
That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. On-Guard's room and planted the button?
Into Matt's Akama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. And I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word. What does all this mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt On-Guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, that Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right? It's pointless. At this point in time, it's not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything.
Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. This cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright.
But...
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning.
Understood, Your Honor. Prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately.
That is all. Court is adjourned for the day.
Today's trial is over, and I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. That card. That card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember about the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day. Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card had any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. No, it does, because it's still a strange card if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness! That card! Give it to me! Hurry! Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This, I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? What does it mean? Holy crap! What is going on? If I remember correctly, that has something to do with the hotel. So Edgeworth has to know something about Maya being kidnapped.
Edgeworth takes Pokemon cards seriously.
Mystic Maya, Mystic Maya. There, Pearls. I can't take it anymore. Wah. Look, it'll be all right. Everything may still work out. The condition is that we did not get a guilty verdict. That we had to get a not guilty verdict. And so far, the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. On Guard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up. We don't have time to stand around crying. We have to get going. You're right. Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am. Yes, that's right. So? Hey, you guys! I'm glad I caught you, pal! Mr. Scruffy Detective. Oh boy. Looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now. I came to talk to you, pal. Well, we're kind of busy right now. So, what are you gonna do from now on? What do you mean, pal? Well, you've been fired, right? So, what do you have? Do you have a new job lined up yet? Oh, that. What am I supposed to do now, pal? I haven't anything coming in at all until my next. I don't have anything coming in at all until my next payday. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday. I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. Say what? You'll be searching for things that'll prove Mr. On Guard's innocence all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna help you, pal. I got lots of experience in investigating and watching all over people's places. And I'm great at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of it all. on, Mr. Nick. Let's let Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things. Okay. By the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. Why am I surrounded with people who can only eat cheap, unhealthy foods? That was the first time I've ever seen Mr. Edwards act like that. Never thought he'd say something like he didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself. He said that? That's horrible. Because of him doing that, we got the truth finally. Truth. Miss Andrews' last testimony, that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in the testimony itself, but I still think there's something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. You mean about that thing, pal? Why would she want to... No. I mean, almost need to frame Mr. On Guard. I couldn't figure that out from anything she said all day. Then you're saying that testimony was a lie? Not a lie, per se. It's just like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe. It's such a dirty trick! Even that woman prosecutor was better than that. Franziska von Karma. Speaking of Ms. von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Wasn't she shot this morning? I made fried tofu, Korean barbecue sauce for lunch last second. Yeah, I got a simpler meal. Spam and rice. Miss Von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial about pistol, pal. But she's gonna be fine, right? I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, but... Well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and still hanging in there. And it should be done taking the bullet out, so she's probably resting at the hospital. Which one? What? You're gonna visit her, pal? No, well, I'm kind of thinking about it. Hey, you actually got a heart, don't you? She looked like she was being tortured to death, not being able to go to the trial today. Well, maybe good for her to you went and let her whip you for a bit, pal. Let's go let her whip us, Mr. Nick. No, I'm definitely not going. I volunteer. Let's see, the name of the hospital. Oh, yeah, the Hottie Clinic. You kidding me? That name sends a chill down my spine. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. Of all the fucking places. Never thought I'd come back to this place. Yes. You here to visit a patient? Hi. Wait a second, you're... yes, I'm Director Hardy. I don't remember the voice I gave this guy. Why are you still here? Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell, You can tell me, yes. Director Hardy. Oh. Edgeworth. Yes, I'm Director Hardy. Oh, yeah, man from this morning. Yes. What is it, Director Franziska. How is Franziska von Karma? You don't need to worry. Yeah, it's in good hands. Because you see, I'm personally taking good care of him. Yes, yes, and that thing, that surgery, it went well. You have my gratitude. Looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about this director and his secret. I can't do a good Rick Sanchez, though. It looked pitiful, absolutely terrified, yes. But understand, yes, her opponent was a gun, after all, And when I snuck up on a real secret like, she was screaming really loud, yes. I see. No, but she's really cute too. When I do that, she'd whip me with her whip. Or did I cry like a baby? Yes, but I think I could get used to it. Hey. Go back to your room. You're so mean. You're so mean, my frisky fresca. Let's get to. Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, it's time for my IV drops. Yes. And what are those tulips doing in your hands, Mr. Phoenix, right? I knew I shouldn't have come here. You brought her flowers! I was shot in the front of the courthouse, in the right shoulder, just like dear old Dad. But it's no big deal. This sort of thing happens all the time. Even I had full intentions of running the trial. I had full intentions of running the trial this morning. But that would have been too much for you. There's no need to act tough in front of us, you know. Regardless, I was dragged here by that man over there. He was so unyielding. One has to wonder if he was interested in stealing my case. It was the only logical course of action, given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. But by taking over the case, I found myself having to clean up after you, and that irresponsible deal you made. I think I know what deal he was referring to. Miss Von Karma, you made a deal with Miss Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. On Guard, you told Miss Andrews not to testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof I made such a deal? You're denying it? Looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix, right? If I had been in court today, this trial would already be over. All while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime. That isn't my problem, whether she had tampered with the evidence or not. I have only one objective, to find On Guard guilty of murder. The end justifies the means, Mr. Phoenix, right? The end justifies the means. Miss Von Karma, Agent Andrews believed you when you said, if you don't tell the truth of what really happened, then On Guard will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me? Because of that, she's now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end. That still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. But you have to know she was... Ow! I think visiting hours are about over. So, if you'll excuse me... What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off? Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument. Edgeworth. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That's not like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Miss Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far? But she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, right. The courtroom is a garden of judgment. I'm putting myself on the line when I stand in there. And that's why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural. By the way, Edgeworth, you were really angry in court today. That's rare for you. That card, what in the world is it? You mean this? Listen, right. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. A special investigations team has existed a number of years. Existed for a number of years, but few know of it. I understand. Their task is to find the owner of this card. They're after the killer. A man called Shelly the Killer. The puns, here we go again. And just as his name states, he's a killer, an assassin, the best at that. An assassin? So who is this Shelley D. Killer? D. Killer is the long-standing line of name of the long-standing line of assassins. Long-standing? The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelley's the professional name of their third heir to the D. Killer name. It's because his professional name is Shelley, he leaves a card with a shell on them? He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims. Why would he do something like that? We think it's a part of his duty to his clients. His duty? If he leaves a card, excuse me, then his clients can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients. I see. D. Killer values a trust between his clients and himself above all else. It seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. Because even honorable assassins can exist. So you think this assassin, you think he's the one who did the killing in this case? It would appear that way. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelley the Killer, huh? Yeah, we gotta let him in on this. I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Is something the matter? I guess I should just tell him. Maya, she's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does the kidnapper want? An acquittal. I see. I had no idea. I'll prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow. You can do that? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is going to... Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity. Mr. Nick? There's no way you can find her. We don't even have a single lead to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. Right. Listen. You need to know something. Juan Carrera was killed by Shelley D. Killer. And the client who ordered the job is mad on God. Oh, jeez. Your own client. Please, stop. I can't listen to you. I can't believe that. I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you will need this. What is it? The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only, as we are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelley D. Killer. But if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they'll let you enter. In any case, I must attend to preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again. If anything should happen, you'll excuse me. Mr. Nick, do you think Mr. On Guard hired an assassin? No way. I mean, he doesn't have a psych lock. I guess not. Maya, please, all I ask you is to make it home safe and sound. I guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. Even though he said he was an assassin. I bet he's just making that up. Like how Nick does with everything in court. Anyway, let's try out the card trick with this card I just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time to go take a look around. What is this place? I feel like I'm not in the hotel anymore. Are those videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way I can show them the sis and maybe get out of here. Wow, I've never seen a TV this big before. Now, where's the power button? Phooey, it's busted. ever got to see the Nickel Samurai on a TV like this. I can't believe I just made a joke about dying, all things considered. What is this thing? An antenna, I guess? Is this a VCR? There's sure a lot of electronic gadgets here. Wow, VCR. I don't have mine anymore. What's an antenna doing here? He's hijacking a signal. Oh, hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. I have no idea where the power switch on in this thing is. Drat! There goes my plan to use this somehow to get out of here. Ugh, locked, of course. It doesn't look like I can use this card to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. Only has a little skinny in it. Maybe I'd be able to crawl through here. It's a picture of the framed picture sitting on this coffee table. Picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. Hey, it looks like there's something written here. Let's see. It says, "Love, Celeste." I bet this could be a clue. That's weird. What's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? I think it's a bear. Oh, how cute. But it's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. What if it's some kind of puzzle or something? No, this simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. Yeah. It seems that your Mr. Right truly is concerned about you. He is? Well, no, I would suggest you remain cooperative. I think that zipper, that scar down his face, quote-unquote, is actually a zipper. This is some, like, Mission Impossible level type of, like, disguise. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you. Ways? You mean dead men tell no tales? Is how the saying goes, correct? Dead? I'm almost certain I told you on our first meeting. I'm an assassin. No way, you're lying. I mean, an assassin? People are not always who they appear to be. Mr. Nick? Oh yes, Pearls. Caught up on my thoughts about Maya's situation. Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know. I guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. On Guard. But I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too. Okay. Yeah, let's go there and then I'll... Makes me think twice from My Hero. I never watched My Hero Academia. Excuse me. Alright, let's go to the detention center and then we'll call it. It's good until the end. I'm sorry, but visiting hours are over for today. Aw. Too many questions I need to ask. I'm sorry, but I'm Phoenix Wright, a lawyer from one of the... Mr. Wright, you say? Oh, yeah. There's a message here for you. Message? It's from Matt On Guard. Here you are. What did he write? Is it something really important? I don't know. Well, let's see what it has to say. To Mr. Lawyer Dude, I've got something really important to tell you. Why do I feel uneasy all of a sudden? Oh, Mr. Wright. So, actually, I have a favor to ask of you. I have this cat named Shu. I did put a lot of food when I left the house, so he's probably pretty hungry. You think you could drop by my house and feed Shu for me, dude? My house is just a little ways from down
down from the hotel, alright?
Wait a minute. This is terrible. Let's hurry. We have to feed his cat. I'm sure poor Shu's stomach is growling by now. Client's request is a request. I guess I should go check up on his cat. Alright now, Mr. Nick. Let's go look for clues. We have to for Mystic Maya's sake. You shall not pass! This old bag. Don't devalue my name and turn into a gasp, you spiky-headed pettifogger. Because of you, I've been made to look like the bad guy again. Although I did get a piece of gum from Edgy Boy. Just as he promised, but that was much more valuable. I wanted Edgy whose heart I wanted over me. It's all your fault. You've awakened the wild beast in this old bag. She passed out. Keep your hands off me. This helmet is airtight. No air gets in, and no air gets out. Then why do you keep putting it on? Don't think you can get me with the silly question. Get me to move with silly questions. You're gonna have to defeat me if you want to get by. I'm not hearing this. We'll be back. On Guard Mansion. Sure is dark. I'll go turn on the light. What in the... There's the door! Wow, so this is what a star's house looks like. Must be nice to be rich. Oh, come on, Mr. Nick, let's find Shu, the kitty cat. Shu! Kitty! So I guess this is Shu. Oh, what a lovely cat. Hello, Shu. Cat seems to like pearls. Pardon me? May I help you with something, Mr... Oh, we're lawyers. Actually, I'm Mr. On Guard's lawyer. The Master's... Then you must be Mr. Wright. Yes. Ah, it's a pleasure to meet your wonderful self. I'm the family butler, John Doe. How fitting. Nice to meet you. You must know all sorts of things about Mr. On Guard, right? Honestly, sir, I don't believe my master is capable of such a foul deed as murder. You are. And, pieces are falling into place. Anything else? No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the master or his affairs. How typically butler-like, as it were. Mr. Doe, how long have you served at this residence? Well, sir, I would have to say maybe about 1 year. And, anything else? No, not especially. It's not appropriate for a lowly servant to... No, I would have thought Mr. On Guard would
kind to have a maid over a butler.
It's a very cute cat you got there.
It is my duty to take care of him. The master rather fancies Shu.
And, anything else?
No, not especially. It is not appropriate for a lowly servant to speak of the family cat.
Well, then I guess I don't need this piece of scrap paper anymore.
Well, I'm afraid I must take my leave of you now.
Oh? We should probably get going ourselves.
So young and yet so already accomplished. A master of law.
But there's also a lot to be proud of, being a butler in charge of the house and all.
Thank you for the compliment, sir. People are not always who they appear to be.
Obviously.
No, if you'll excuse me.
First off, why? A giant bicycle is flying through the air. That bicycle pearls is one where you don't have to pedal. It moves on its own. Really? Wow. But sorry to disappoint you. It can't fly. Oh. It's too bad. Oh, there's a giant cooking hearth over here. That's actually a fireplace. How are they different, Mr. Nick? You know, I've never actually seen a hearth before, come to think of it. You should come and visit the Fey Manor, and I'll show you one when you do. It's a very comfortable and spacious lounge set. I wonder if the famous stars drop by and sit around and have a good time. In any case, I don't really belong here, do I? What's with me and feeling inferior today? There are masks over there. Yeah, that one in the middle is the Steel Samurai. The ones next to that are the Pink Princess and the Evil Magistrate. They fought many battles against the backdrop of Old Tokyo. Wow! You really know a lot about the Steel Samurai, Mr. Nick. I don't know whether enough to laugh or cry that I know more about this show than a kid. There's a small door at the bottom of this bigger door, Mr. Nick. I bet it's for Mr. On Guard's cat to use. Oh, you mean Shu? Door. It's locked tight. Well, I guess that's to keep nosy people like me from entering it. There's another door over there. You shouldn't go wandering off over there, Mr. Nick. Yes, Pearls. I know how Maya feels when I tell her to stop playing around. If only I could get Pearl to go in there. He seems small enough. Alright, I'm gonna give my voice a break. We'll stop here for the night. If I do stream tomorrow, we'll be continuing more of this. That really depends on how I'm feeling after all this heat tomorrow. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for joining me for this session of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. And yeah, more of that tomorrow if I do stream. Wednesday, I'll probably most likely stream then. Will be more of Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun. Fun over there. And then on Friday, we'll be starting our second half of the Gundam 00 arc. We'll be starting the second season and our build of the RG 00 Riser. So that'll be fun. I do have to get that thing washed and prepped though. Yeah, that'll be the plan for this week. So if you like this stream, you can head on over to the following links. The first link will take you to the Lazy League Discord and be able to find the rest of us, such as Oh Hey Mike K, the Batgwin, Gummed Off the Gray, and many others in our circle who also stream. There's a lot of fun stuff that goes on over there. gaming news, D&D talks, watch parties, a bunch of other stuff. The second link will take you to the sister site for this channel, which I keep telling myself I'll update, but I never get around to it. But you can find more info on other upcoming streams that I have planned, as well as my archive of all the past streams that I've done, like my playthrough of the first Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game. And if you got any questions, comments, and concerns that you would like me to know about, or any suggestions that you might have for me for future Let's Plays, Retro Nights, or Let's Builds, you can head on over to the contact page and shoot them out to me over there. Alternatively, you can scroll down below or off to the side, depending which platform you're watching from, to find the blue sky link to also reach me. Other links help support the channel, and other streamers who aren't connected or affiliated with Lazy League. They're just ones that I like to watch and follow. Check them all out whenever you can. They're all great. And again, thank you for joining me tonight. You can tell my voice is starting to get worn out. I need to get a drink of water fast. And other than that, I'll either catch you guys tomorrow, I'll let you guys know if I do, or Wednesday. Until then, take care, love and hype, life is good. Good night, everybody. Get yourself some water, hydrate, and have a good night.